scaredy cats, it's me, Santa Matt. Definitely doesn't feel like Christmas time. Definitely feels very, very hot. A lot of people saying it isn't Christmas time right now in the comments, but obviously it is. We're at a Phantasm Movies to review. It could be no other time, and that's the last I'll discuss the subject. This is the last week of Christmas before the normal flow of time may resume. And I think we're ending on a bit of a high note because to cap off the end of this holiday season, I watched Black Christmas 2019, the third and final installment of the trilogy of movies called Black Christmas. To get started, this movie deals with sexual assault a lot. It's inextricably tied to the story, so that's something that's going to come up a lot in this discussion. If you're particularly sensitive to that type of thing, I would highly advise you not to watch further in this video as parts of it may be quite upsetting. For the type of person who gets mad when I give content warnings like that, I'd highly recommend you also stop watching this video and all of my videos, but this one in particular, because you sound like exactly the type of asshole this movie was designed to piss off. Christmas 2019 is divisive, purposefully so. It gets in your face and says what it wants to say, whether you want to hear it or not. This movie does not go for a middle ground. It has a strong and refreshing point of view. Sometimes it can be a bit blunt with the way it explains that point of view. But frankly, the subject matter it's exploring is so completely misunderstood by audiences that I don't blame it for feeling the need to spell things out a little too much, even if it can come off as a little clumsy. Black Christmas 2019 is a staunchly feminist movie that barely maintains the pretense that it is a remake of the 1974 original. There are a few cheeky references. The cat is named Claudette in this movie, while the original cat's name was Claude, for example. It has some great subversions on the iconic moments of the original that are genuinely surprising. We follows a group of women in a sorority house that are being stalked and killed one by one. So far that sounds pretty familiar, but in this movie, rather than a single madman or a couple of mad people, it's a whole death cult of misogynist killers. This movie adds a supernatural element that feels a little bit out of place, where the death cult can control otherwise non-toxic dudes, magic demon blood that makes them into incels. It's real fucking hot. I feel real fucking hot. I hate this bit. Sure, the supernatural stuff was necessary because there are plenty of people that just act like that in real life, like you didn't need to explain it with demon blood. The demon blood acts as a metaphor for rape culture, the ways that rape and sexual assault are normalized and excused by society. Toxic masculinity, the aspects of masculinity that lead men to destructive behavior like aggression or holding in their feelings. The magic of the demon blood is that it brings out something within otherwise good men, and they start to act like douchebags, kind of like the way that being in a toxic culture can warp the attitudes and sensibilities of people who would otherwise be pretty chill hames. Works great as a metaphor, but on a literal level, it's not really explained much beyond there's magic sometimes. And it comes from an evil statue. The main character had been previously drugged and raped at a frat house, and it's been withdrawn ever since. We get the sense that she used to be this outgoing character, but she's now kind of given up on life. Sets up a choreographed dance sequence that tells her story at the frat house's Christmas party, exposing the guys in the frat house so they can't victimize any other women.
Up in the frat house, shit went down, and I'm telling everyone in town, I didn't lead you on for goodness sake. I couldn't have 'cause I wasn't awake.
Puts them in the crosshairs of the cult who want to kill off all the disobedient women and restore the natural order of man controlling woman. And if that sounds cartoonish, I gotta tell you, I spend a lot of time looking into some of the dark corners of that old internet of ours, and there are a lot of men, and a truly depressing amount of women, who believe that kind of shit. Though to my knowledge, in real life, they don't dress up like Dr. Dooms. Where this movie really shines is the characters. They're all likable, they all have believable relationships with one another, believable problems and conflicts. They go about their lives, going to class, going to work, dating. They have conversations that don't feel like expository. They're just friends hanging out.
Do women say the word dump? I mean, yeah. I hate these little cutie names for just taking a shit.
Despite being women in a slasher movie, they're also human beings with internal lives. And it shouldn't surprise you that this film was written and directed by women. I feel like people I know in real life. For the first time in a long time, I found myself genuinely sad whenever a character was killed off. I liked all of them so much, especially Jessie, who was too pure for this world.
You've been coaching us for 3 weeks, you know the choreography, and you sing.
Yeah, but he's here.
All the more reason to do it.
Jessie, what do you think?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What am I supposed to say?
Love it.
Do I just turn on the oven and put the ham in? It seems too easy. Do Christmas lights expire?
And to succeed, I wanted them to escape, and each time one of them died, the other characters actually mourned them. They do finally manage to turn the tables on the killers. It's a pretty exciting action sequence. It really does feel triumphant. Christmas 2019 is all about fighting back, recognizing that forces are poised against you, and rather than letting that lead you to despair, finding the courage within yourself to stand up against it, to stand with others and demand the same dignity, respect, and safety that the other half enjoy. And that's going to piss off a lot of people, and I admire that. You, be mad. You think the movie's too preachy? I don't know. Kind of feels like maybe we should do a bit more preaching on the subject of the epidemic of sexual assault on college campuses, and how nothing is done about it. The way that women, who are like half of people, have to live in fear because they know that the justice system will not protect them. How victims are shamed and harassed and intimidated into silence, and perpetrators go on to be Supreme Court justices, or presidential candidates, or presidents. The movie is blunt, but it should be. It wants you to confront some ugly subject matter. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of people won't confront that unless you tell them they ought to directly. A perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's got some pacing issues. The third act amps up real fast, and some of the mythos feels really underdeveloped. There's just magic statues, and you just gotta roll with that. And just to handle some really dark subject matter while still being fun and charming. A movie with an honest-to-God point of view, something to say. Pretense of it being a Black Christmas movie, it does lead to one of the biggest fuck yeah moments with the iconic bag kill. I'm not gonna spoil here how this movie handles that, but it's real good. Black Christmas 2019 I liked it a lot. That on the box. That the curse is broken, Christmas has been defeated. I am free. I can talk about any movie I want next week. Tune in, I guess, when I discuss Terrorvision, or, I don't know, Hell Comes to Frogtown, or perhaps Smiley. Smiley did it for the lulz. Hate this, I'm so glad this bit is over. If I had to do this for any longer, I think that quite possibly